bad idea, man.
When you know what? When you play, do you have anything before you play, or no? You just go.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Me, no.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, no, I have at least. Well, the over the years, the ritual has changed. There was at one point when I was out, it would always be a shot of Jameson. Not that I would shoot it; I would just have it next to a pint of Guinness.
Right.
Absolute must. It was like, and not a must. Like, oh my god, I needed it. Just like that was my thing. So I would, but over the years, it's changed. But it's always, a good couple of cocktails, 2 or 3 whiskeys, and then I go up and I do my thing.
You're my hero. I could never, man. I'm always, super nervous when I play. So I was like, but like, I have a beer, have a half. But if I do it, it hits me like really hard. I sound like a wimp, but probably am.
No, I don't think so. I think it's that's an interesting thing because
the adrenaline is already starting to hit.
Yeah.
All right. And so your blood flow is quicker than it would usually be if we're just sitting at home enjoying our day, right? Yeah. Or evening, whatever.
Probably, yeah.
Day sounds really bad, like I got a problem. But that's for me.
Isn't any hour a happy hour?
Yeah.
Sorry, I watched the whole trial. I can literally recite all of Johnny Depp's lines from that trial.
Yeah. The one that he just went through. Yeah. What a mess.
But no, you're right. Like you're gonna process it faster. It's gonna hit that, and I don't know. Maybe it became ritualistic and it just became a thing. Never to the point of like, oh, I'm hammered. I did a tour like that because it was a theater. It was a theater production, but it was live on stage, not a pit thing. We were live on stage, and the director. Because we were interacting with the 2 actors the entire time. It was a rock show. And so the director, right before the start, was like, hey, you guys can loosen up, because, he's a director of actors. And he's like, yeah, loosen up. And, so what I did was I started with a case of Stella underneath my rig. True story. There was this scaffolding they had built into the stage set. And there would be this case, because there would be all these monologues that the actor had to do. So right. I'm sitting for 10 minutes and I'm like, so I got into this habit where through the course of a 2-hour show, I was putting about half of it away. Mm-hmm. And I just kind of got, used to it. Downsides is, I hurt myself that tour, broke a foot, broke a flying V in half. Not from rage or anything like that, just being stupid and, whatever. Yeah. But yeah, so I kind of got into that groove, but then I pulled way back and I was like, I'm not doing that anymore. So,
yeah, I'm too I'm too self-conscious about my playing where I'm such a neurotic. Everything's got to be just right. So if I'm not right, I know I'm not going to have a good night. I mean, like I've had a half a beer just to take an edge off if I'm doing like, some of the if I'm doing a national or something, and I know that like the guitar player is like super incredible. Even those butterflies, you got to go on before them, and you're like, oh, geez, man, I need something just to take my edge off a little bit, but I can't.
So do you think that idea that you're talking about when you say take the edge off, do you think that's something that is, okay, let me put it this way. Say you didn't have the beer. You open, you get this gig with this national, and you didn't have the beer. Then you go out and you do a show and you come off the stage at the end of that show and you're like, man, I wasn't there. One thing you can't do is say, oh man, I shouldn't have had that beer. Because that's where my head would go. I was like, man, I shouldn't have had, maybe I shouldn't have done all that blow. Maybe it would have been a better show. I don't know. But you kind of take that equation out of it. The flip side of that is you go out, you have that beer and you go out and you just destroy, like reinvent the sonic world of shred guitar playing, right? And then you're like, well, I'm going to have that every night then.
I'll call you when that happens.